Jeff again, Elite Sports Shooting. It's great to be back. I do like coming and doing some videos. I gotta start doing a little bit more of these videos. I find that my life is at work has been pretty busy, but anyway, nonetheless, I do want to do a video today, and I want to do it of a cleaning video of my over and under Stevens 555. But before I get going, I always give a shout out to the GUGULUZA and the Jielisi Gun Sock people. I have GUGULUZA and Jielisi Gun Socks on every firearm I own. And I did a quick video on the Jielisi going over my Raven Lockhart Tactical. It goes over my stick and the pistol grip, or the scope and the pistol grip. Really like it. And all of my stick guns, and this would be considered one of my stick guns, pretty straight. I usually put just a Jielisi gun sock on them. They're usually a little thicker. These are thicker than the Jielisis, but the Jielisis have a little bit more elasticity to them. So anyways, I do have to kind of adjust the camera and lighting and everything to before I get going, but if you just give me a second, I will adjust everything and be right back. Alright, so I've adjusted the camera, adjusted the lighting and everything, so we're gonna get going here. Normally what I'll do when I'm out cleaning guns is I'll turn on some music and so forth. I usually just like to relax out here. I find that cleaning is part of shooting. So anyways, this is the Stevens 555 Sporting. It's actually a pretty darn good shotgun. The MSRP on this was $1199.99, so $1,200. And it's been a pretty darn good shotgun for the most part. I've never had anything really go wrong. Couple of things that I didn't explain so far is you just kind of pull the tab on the foregrip. This actually locks it in place. You just kind of lift it up. It's like a lever, and it's not spring loaded, but I usually just put it back in the position and set that aside. I set it aside because I don't want to drop it on the ground, so put it in a good safe place. Don't try to balance it on something. I've been in a situation where I almost knocked it off the counter. But anyways, now I'm going to open up the action, and I'm just going to rock it off. So pull it apart. I'll take my snap caps out and set those aside. And now we got everything apart. I don't want to damage this, so I'm going to clean the barrel first. So I'm just going to set this to the side. Now I do want to take the chokes out. So what I'll do is take my choke wrench, and they're not in there that tight. They're just in there kind of snug. And I'll just back these off. And when you have a good, clean shotgun, and it can get dirty fast, but if you clean it regularly, you'll never have problems. So everything is pretty much apart as much as it can be right now. This the 555 Sporting only has extractors, not ejectors. I've never tried to pull this off. I don't want to bend the extractor or anything like that, but what I do is just I lube it the best I can in its place, and I leave it alone. But everything else, I clean it up really, really well. So just looking down the barrels, they look pretty dirty. So I'm going to start with, I forgot to grab some paper towel. And I just use the stuff that I have on hand. I just have regular paper towel. You can use any paper towel you want. I use old shirts. I use receiving blankets that I have for my grandkids. Old towels. I don't try to go buy all the latest and greatest like little gadgets and doodads. I do have a plunger for ramming stuff down and down the barrels, and then I have the gun bore cleaner, the bristle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by, and this is just the complete gun treatment. I prefer to use it. It cleans and it lubricates at the same time. So we're just going to spray her down pretty good. Sometimes what I'll do is, if I really have to coat it, I'll just spray it down into the, then if anything falls out the other side of the barrel, just kind of slides on out the other side, then what I'll, it's just going into the garbage can. I'll spray out this side as well, and I want to make sure that I get those choke threads. Yeah, it's pretty dirty in there. All right, she's coming out the other side pretty good. I do have to say that the 555 Sporting has really been a good gun. I have a Stevens 320, and I was pretty adamant about telling people that it's not a cheap gun. It may be less expensive, but it is not cheap. I really love this thing. This shotgun has everything that I like in a shotgun. Now, I do have just an old toothbrush, and I forgot to charge up my air compressor, but I don't use my air compressor every single time. I only do it once in a while to really, I'll coat it with the G96, and then I'll use my air compressor to kind of just force some air and force some of that the G96 down into the extractor slide there. So just got to push it forward and just kind of work it back and forth. And then I'm going to spray some down, just down inside here, and really let that kind of soak in. And then I'll do the other side of the extractor as well. Alright, so I'm just going to work those extractors a little bit more before I move on. I got some more G96 sprayed on the inside of the extractor on both sides. I'm sure you can take this thing off, but I really don't want to get in there and start prying stuff up. I'd rather just leave it in place. The only way I see taking that off is if you try to pry the side of the extractor upwards, and I don't want to bend this or break this. So I'll just leave it in place and lube it in place. Like I said before, the Stevens 555 Sporting is a little bit more reasonably priced than other makes and models of the over and under. It is, I'm not going to use the word cheap because I don't like that word, because this is not a cheap gun in any way, shape, or form. So anyways, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move down. I'm going to make sure that that I run my my bore scrubber, my wire brush through, back and forth, and I'm going to use it on the far end. Make sure that I scrub it really, really well. You can really feel those forcing cones. I'm finding it difficult right now to talk while I'm doing this because I clean so often I don't talk to anyone. Right now I'm really cleaning up those what are they called? The choke threads. Now, what can happen if you're doing a lot of shooting and you're not cleaning your over and under very, very often, what can happen is, sorry, I gotta close that. What you can end up with is when the choke is in, you can end up with carbon buildup that gets underneath the choke, and then it starts to corrode. And if you're not paying attention and you're the type of person that just goes and shoots and doesn't come home and clean anything, you end up getting carbon buildup, and it starts to rust and everything underneath here, and it's not good. So I do have a choke thread cleaner here, and it screws in, and it really just gets in those threads. I keep these pretty darn clean, so yep, I keep them pretty clean. Yep, so yeah, they go in pretty easy and come out pretty easy. So now that I got the G96 in there, now I'm gonna push this through, and I'm gonna use my push rod. You can really feel that hitting the forcing cone there. Man, that's really in there. And this was kind of dirty already going in. And we're going to push that down the bottom barrel now. Till it comes out the other end. I don't know if I scrubbed the threads very well, but we're really gonna make sure those are clean, and just wipe out all the crud. And I also take paper towel, take pieces off it. I'll run it down through and see what she comes out like. So it's still a little on the dirty side. So I'm going to do it one more time. I'm just going to fold it another way. That was the top barrel. I've been looking at some more shotguns. And this here will be a lot more competing. So I will need something a little bit better. That's still dirty. We're going to put another piece down. You know, wipe it till it's clean. Isn't that what you tell your kids? All right. So, now that's pretty clean. I got a fair bit of excess on the barrel itself, so I want to make sure that I wipe that all off. The thing I like about the 555 Sporting over the 555 is the 555 Sporting has everything I would ever want in a shotgun. In a double barrel shotgun. It has the dual bead, the ported barrels, the high vented rib, the adjustable comb. It's actually a really nice shotgun. I should see how long I can compete with this for. Now I'm going to take a little bit of just regular gun oil, and I just put a little drop down on there. This is where having the air compressor would actually be a really good idea to, you know, to spray that with some compressed air to try to push as much of that underneath the extractor as possible. And then I'm going to do the same on the inside. I gotta try to see it myself. There we go. That's one side. And now the other. My next gun will probably have ejectors. So, and while I'm right here, I'm just going to put a little dab right here where it rotates. Probably just do a little on the side here and just kind of smear it around. You don't have to use much. All right, now very gently I'm going to set that aside. And I'm going to pull out the stock. Now, just looking down inside here, it is not bad. but for the sake of doing it, we're just going to spray some G96 down in here on the sides. I wouldn't get too crazy about it. Now, I've talked to a lot of people and they have actually indicated you don't want to get too much of the like G96, this complete gun treatment, and have it go down inside the where the firing pins are, but because they're worried about the too much oil in there coming and damaging the wood inside. So really, I don't think that it's going to damage the wood too terribly bad. I would just worry about more corrosion from carbon buildup inside there as well. I'm not going to take everything apart in here and do the trigger. That's going to be a separate video altogether. I just want to do a quick cleaning video, and then once a year I'll do a complete tear down, and maybe what I'll do is I'll do another video of a complete tear down of the stock. So I think I should actually grab another toothbrush. Maybe I have to recycle another toothbrush here pretty soon. There we go. So since I have a little bit of oil on this already, I'm just wiping off any kind of dirt and any kind of imperfections, any kind of crud, carbon, and it could be anything because you're always opening the action. It's always open, and it's windy down at the range. Now, I'm not even sure if I did a range video on this. I've shot this so much this year. I think I did a 5,000 round video with my Gearson MC312, and on this one here I think I have at least about 4,000 rounds through it. I've been shooting so much with it, and this is my go-to trap gun. So even just everything I've wiped down in here so far it's actually pretty darn clean inside there. And I'm just gonna put a little bit of oil on around the pins there on the swivel. Doesn't have to be a lot, just has to be a little. Now I actually take very good care of this gun. So my next gun will get taken care of very well as well. And I know this is just the G96, but I do have it's not in here, it's actually in the house, a wood finish that I got from Home Hardware in Coaldale. My good buddy John, that runs the firearm portion of Home Hardware, I bought it from him. It's a browning, kind of like a wood polish, wood finish protection. And make sure that we're cleaning around. The selector switch, your tang safety switch. Pop that back up. And I'm just going to put a little bit of just a drop, kind of like let that get down in there. There, then we're going to open it up again and we'll wipe it off. Now she's lubed actually pretty darn good. The safety is on. I did adjust that comb. I should probably maybe I'll do a video on adjusting the comb for to make it fit certain shooters. This does have the higher vented ribs, so I did have to adjust it just a little bit. Now, the fore end doesn't get that dirty at all, but it does need a little bit of cleaning. So, and just like everything does, everything needs to be cleaned a little bit at some point. And all I'm doing is mainly just scrubbing in here, lubing it up a little bit. We'll open this up. And then we're going to wipe that out really well. Probably just easier to get a little piece of paper towel in there. Now, taking a little bit more of that gun oil. And I use the Beretta gun oil because that's what I have. It's not that I prefer this over anything else. And I'm going to put a little bead along the inside edge. Where it actually hinges all the time. And my big thing is, if I'm taking this good a care of a $1,200 gun, once I replace it and move up a little bit, maybe I can jump up to like a Browning 725 or a Beretta 694, a Rosini, Perazzi, Krieghoff. Hey, if we're gonna dream, we may as well dream big, right? And make sure that's all lubed up. Now I can start the assembly process again. Make sure we just kind of keep that as, I don't want it gooped on there. It's nice to have it a little shiny, a little, there's just a little bit of gun oil on the sides. And choke tubes. Now, I always put a little bit inside. Even just a drop. And then take your finger Move it around in there, and since I have so much on my finger right now, and then while it's here, even one drop, it just makes its way around the whole choke tube. Make sure I've got the right one where I want it. I use the skeet, the most open tube on the bottom, and this is just my preference. I'm just saying that for me. That's what I do. I'm not saying that everybody else has to. I shoot my bottom barrel first, and it's my most open choke, and it's usually at the clay that's closest to me, so that's my first shot. And then my second shot is usually a improved cylinder. If I'm doing sporting clays and I'm making longer shots, I'll swap out my chokes for different chokes. It all depends what kind of shooting I'm doing. If it's sporting clays, I've been using my Beretta A400 or my Winchester SX4. But if I'm on a trap line, it's my over and under. I prefer my over and under for trap shooting. And then I'm going to tighten up those chokes. Not a whole lot, just snugging them up. Normally I have them. Oh, what is going on here? Normally I just have them finger tight, but it seems like they're always loosening themselves off. So I'll put that back where it belongs. I've got quite a few gun cases. So anyways, we're gonna very carefully hinge it back together and make sure that I'm doing this so you guys at home can see. And snap her shut. Take the fore end cap and just gently rock it back into place and put her back together. And I'm just going to work that action. After I clean it, it just locks back into place just perfectly. I just want to wipe it down, some of the stuff here. I can't say it enough, making sure that you clean your firearms, you clean your assets, because when you go and you want them to work, especially in a competition, or if you're out shooting at ducks or geese or whatever you're shooting at, you want to make sure that you have a good, reliable gun every time. And yeah, now it sounds like it's well lubed. All right, so that's it for me. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. I do try to get back to everybody. Sometimes it's a little bit longer of a duration to get back and forth to everyone. But I do appreciate all the comments. I do appreciate you, the viewer. If this could help even 1-2 people, then I've actually done a great job. But that's it for me. Like I said, if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. If you like the content of the video, give me a thumbs up, because I do really appreciate it. And I will put a link to the GUGULUZA and the Jielisi Gun Socks below. And if you have any questions, please feel free. But anyways, that's it. Have yourself a great day, and always remember to keep both eyes on your target. Thank you, everyone.